Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
We are really glad to have you in the first webinar of 2020.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. We've got a lot of people on today. We've had so many people register for this webinar, and I don't know if it's the content or if it's it's these ladies. You guys miss them a lot, but really, what an interesting time it's been.
Oh my gosh.
ISC is next week, right?
Nope.
When
is it? We don't know.
Yeah, we've been working hard to prepare for it, and we're not quite there yet. But before we get started with today's webinar, let's do some quick housekeeping stuff.
Yes.
Okay?
First off, can you hear us? That's the biggest one, right, Whitney?
Yes.
Has anyone chatted in? Before I guess,
everyone's Chris says he can hear us. Tim says he can hear us. Okay, good.
On the GoToMeeting, what do we call
Control panel.
Control panel. Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's been a while. There's a section called questions. So make sure you open that up. Let us know if you can hear us. Let us know where you are.
Are you sequestered and, stuck in a room because you can't? How's your toilet paper supply? Do you have enough bottled water? My wife went to Costco the other day, and she's gone twice now since all this has started happening. And she's like, I still can't find toilet paper. I still can't find bottled water. We don't really need toilet paper or bottled water, but it's crazy that it's running out. It's like the water thing is the thing that's funniest to me, because your water's still going to work even if coronavirus happens. Your tap water.
Yeah, but it's nasty here.
Okay, so I
apparently
shouldn't be drinking tap water then. Okay,
but don't worry.
You,
most people are saying they're good on toilet paper.
Good.
Okay, good.
I'm answering your questions. So
Andrew says green is not my color. Thank you, Andrew. I might agree with you, but you can't tell, but it really brings out my eyes. So.
Okay.
Oh, that was bad.
It does. We should zoom in.
Yeah.
We have lots.
People don't want to hear about this stuff. Let's get to it.
Charles has toilet paper that he's willing to send you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thank you, Charles. We'll appreciate it. I need it for my sniffles. It's been a little rainy here lately. Welcome to the webinar. We are going to get started here with some nonsense, obviously.
Sit over there and
Sorry.
Whitney's answering questions. So as you guys have questions, type them in, and then Whitney will be able to see them. If you don't know how to do that, please let us know. Raise your hand. There's a little function where you can raise your hand.
Can you really?
Yeah, you can. We want to make sure that you can ask questions and participate. Ask your questions, make comments. This is your webinar. We've got a planned presentation that will share a lot of great stuff with you, but we want you to participate in it. So please, put those comments in there, and then Whitney will be pulling those out and feeding them to us as we go throughout the webinar today. So
we have lots of people from all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah, we've got people in Vermont, Toronto, Chicago, Virginia Beach, Oklahoma,
Kalispell, Montana. Yeah. Elk Grove, Illinois. This is awesome. Thank you for joining today, guys. This is going to be great. We're recording this.
Yes. So you will get an email with this recording tomorrow, and we'll also place it on our dealer portal and the YouTube page.
Yeah. So if you maybe have to leave halfway through, or something happens and you're not able to catch the whole thing, or you just want to watch it again to share it with other people, that will be available for you at a later date on our YouTube page. So please check that one out. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube page or YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend subscribing to that. It's just youtube.com/Qualsys. So, also, if you need to contact us for any reason, and we'll repeat this again at the end of the webinar, you can send us an email at marketing@qualsys.com, and that goes to our entire department, not just the people you see here, but also the rest of the office. And we can handle all your requests, whether it's a need to get on the dealer portal, or a question about, a way a feature works, or maybe you want some help with some ideas for your website, what have you. We're ready and willing to help you guys with all that. So let's jump in with a little bit of a review of 2.4 and 2.5 software, because I don't know that everybody here understands all those things. I don't know that we did a full webinar on those. So let's start with 2.4 software. The 2.4 software on the IQ panel released a lot of really cool things. I'm going to unplug this right here. Kelsey, you can walk that up to the camera there. So one thing that did is we improved the partitions to make it easier. You can now disarm Bluetooth by partitions. Disarm. Oh, I might have to refocus it, and it's set with focus.
You hold it, I'll zoom in.
Okay, that'll work. There we go.
Multitasking.
So one of the things we did is we improved partitions, so you can actually, if you're doing it in a commercial setting and you've got multiple partitions, you can actually change a Bluetooth so it's assigned to a partition. So if Whitney only had access to partition 2, she could assign her phone to that. This is the wellness page. This is a new part of our software that allows you to not only have this great wellness UI, but a new feature that we call check in and check out. So you can see right here, let's say I'm a caregiver and I am coming into your house to administer some diabetes medication. I press check in. There's a little keypad here. I type in my code 1234 and it checks me in. And you can see here, if I swipe over to the camera page, okay, I've now checked in, and it shows the picture of me checking in, or at least the top of my head in this case.
Not a very good picture.
It's not a very good picture. Well, it's because of the green shirt. Apparently, I don't look
Is
good.
that what it is?
Yeah. But the person can check in and check out, and those photographs also go to the cloud. So you actually have the ability for caregivers, family members, et cetera, when they're coming in to visit in that wellness scenario, you'll get a record of them sent right to your phone, and you can take the appropriate action or just be aware that it's happening. The other nice thing about this is we've enabled the ability to turn off the security page. So if you swipe over, you can see you can get to the security page. But if the wellness install you didn't have security, you could turn this page off so it wouldn't be there at all. So it would just be this wellness page. So pretty nice. And of course, this is the emergency panic for medical. That's a nice, easy way to access that. So if you're working with some of those great Alarm.com bed sensors, chair sensors, those all learn in natively to the IQ panels. You've got that yellow 319 panel. That is this one right here. Those all learn in natively with that. The medical pendant that we've got, the fall pendant that were all released last year and available on our website, work great in these wellness scenarios, and of course smoke detectors, et cetera. So it's a really, really great way to provide wellness. We also, go ahead. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Neil has a question.
Okay.
He wants to know, can you use the wellness page if you have partitions?
Absolutely. So as we showed you, I got the wellness, and if I swipe over, I've got security here. If you've got multiple partitions and you've, all built in there, that's all part of the security page. So if security page is still enabled, then yes, you could have wellness and then swipe over and you've got partitions, and that's all right in there. So absolutely, it's a great question. Thank you for that, Neil. We also instituted in 2.4, and this was, I think 2.4 came out last August, so not terribly new, but still fairly recent. We also instituted what we call our automation-only UI. So let's say you're installing this in an apartment complex, and the only thing you did in this apartment was lights, locks, and a thermostat. You can see all three of them are here within a single page. Makes a really nice user experience. Again, you could still turn off security if you wanted to, or if you had security enabled, then of course you could swipe over and you can get to security. But you've got lights, locks, and thermostats easily on one page. If you swiped over, you'd still get, the lights page. So if you have multiple lights or multiple locks or multiple thermostats, you'd still have a way to access all those. But it is a great way to use the first light, lock, and thermostat in one place to make it easy for them to use it. So it's a really nice little addition to the IQ panel. We also integrated Liftmaster with IQ panels. So now if you have a Liftmaster garage door opener, it will appear on the IQ panel
So
UI.
excited about that one.
That was a nice one. Yeah. There was one that, I had a Liftmaster garage door, and, the only way to close it or open it was from my phone or from voice control or the button outside. So having that ability to go in and, do it from the panel was actually really nice. So a nice, easy, great integration with Alarm.com. Another one we integrated was scenes. Go back to the zoom in there, Kelsey. Yeah. Kelsey's dodging around the cords here in our studio today. Alarm.com scenes. If you look in the bottom corner here, if I touch this icon, it gives me my scenes. Now, these are just the 4 generic scenes, but if you customize those scenes, your customized scenes will appear here, and you'll have, whatever ones. You created a movie night, for example, or a taking the dog for a walk scene, whatever it is. Your customized scenes along with your icons and everything are there, and you can initiate that scene with a touch of a button.
These are the ones pushed from Alarm.com.
Exactly. Pushed right from Alarm.com. Whatever you create in the app will also appear right here when you've got scenes enabled. So a nice little one. And I think it's, however many scenes you make, it will just continue to be here in a big scrollable list. So really easy to use. The next one, the couple other things that we did, we've actually integrated Z-Wave Smart Start. Come on back, Kelsey.
Okay.
Z-Wave Smart Start with the IQ panel, so we can use the camera to learn in Z-Wave devices. If you've got the new Z-Wave, it's really, really nice way to learn in Z-Wave devices. And all the S2 properties. S2 is Z-Wave's new security protocol. That's also part of that software. Cool. Lots of new settings and improvements, and one that was really asked for a lot was Live View on IQ Remote.
Yes, this one is so exciting that we finally have it.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, I love the IQ Remote. I love putting it in a different location, in a bedroom, upstairs, basement, etc. But I want to be able to see my cameras. And so we worked really hard with Alarm.com to get those video feeds pushed down to the IQ remote as well. So now they're appearing on the remote. The common question we get is, does live view work on it? Live view is yes, but live answer no. So if the doorbell rings, you won't get that notification on your secondary panel. It will still only be on your primary panel and on your mobile app. But that is something we're working on with alarm.com.
Can you still view your SkyBell camera, though, even if you're not getting the notification?
Yes, you can still see it. So you could still see your camera. So let's say you got a notification on your phone. You could go to your IQ remote and initiate that camera stream and see what's on the front porch. But there's no talking through the IQ remote currently. So, but yeah, any questions on anything 2.4?
Yes, I was trying to find some answers real fast.
Okay.
Just a second.
Because otherwise we'll move on to 2.5.
Don't.
Okay.
What version of Liftmaster must it be in order to work? That's what I was trying to search for.
Good question for our technical
It's
team.
on our dealer portal.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find it real fast. It was taking me a minute. So let me keep looking.
My understanding is any Liftmaster that you have that's integrated to alarm.com, alarm.com is also pushing that to the panel.
I have the IQ, works great.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've also got the MyQ Universal, works great. So.
I don't know if that was from Shelby. I can't have my understanding. Okay.
Good question.
What about Lutron? Another question?
Good question. Definitely a more technical question. Lutron has their own little set of stuff, but I believe there is an integration with alarm.com. How much that integration is with the panel, I don't know. So
these are all questions that I know you can find on our the technical page.
Yeah, if you go into the dealer portal and click on support, there's an FAQ section there. You can do that. You can also chat with our support team.
I love the chat.
Go into our dealer portal or even the website and click on the chat button, and you can chat in with the technical service people, and they can handle all those questions. But since we don't have answers for you there, this is more of a sales and marketing webinar than a technical one. We'll find out for you, and we'll make sure that you get that answer. So thank you for asking.
What about the medical pendant? Blaine wants to know will it work anywhere or just within the panel communications?
Good question. So
very good question.
Up to 100 feet away from the panel.
Yep. So
right?
the medical pendant, whether you're using the watch one or the pendant that has fall detection built into it, is using the 319.5 megahertz protocol. It's the same as any door window sensor, so the range would be about the same. So I generally say about 100 feet from the house. So you could be in the yard, front yard, backyard, anywhere in the house, and it should work. But if you decide to leave the premises, it's probably going to be too far away. So great question.
Does live view work? Chris wants to know, live view work with two-factor authentication? You know that?
Yeah, so that is something we're working on with alarm.com. There is something where two-factor authentication, when you enable that to create a more secure login process, then there's something that messes up with live view in the way that it connects it. So it's in order to make a more secure connection, it stops the ability for live view to work, and our teams are working very closely together to get that working again. So if you do have two-factor authentication enabled, live view, I believe, won't work, but I know we're working on it. And all you'd have to do is turn off that two-factor authentication, and live view would work again.
Well, Tim added that he just had a Wi-Fi Liftmaster opener installed today, and as soon as he added it to alarm.com, it appeared on the IQ panel.
Nice.
Yay!
Good job, Tim. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for that.
Kevin asked, can you enable scenes in Qualys panel via alarm.com, or does it have to be done at the panel?
Oh, because you have to enable that feature. I wonder if that's what he's meaning.
Yeah, so when you go into settings here, you can say enable scenes, and it will put this little icon down at the bottom. But any scenes you make on your phone will automatically sync with the cloud and will automatically sync with the panel. And then when you enable a scene, so if I did this right now and said home, it would require a code, and now it's going to run my home scene for me, and it'll do it right there from the panel. Yep. So good question.
Okay. Does the wellness page work on every single panel? I thought that was a good question.
Very good question. It actually does. However, some of the devices, like the bed sensors, the chair sensors, the medical pendants, etc., only work with 319.5 megahertz. So if you have some medical devices that work with a 345 panel or a 433 panel, then yes, they should work, and you should be able to get that wellness page up. It's just a matter of enabling it within the settings. So
and it is
very good
available
question.
on partitions?
Yes. So if you have partitions, that's part of the security stack, and it is completely separate from the wellness, and you can have both of them running concurrently. Absolutely. All right, so let's dive back in. We got a good question. Keep those questions coming.
What, you don't want any more?
I do want more, but we got lots to cover today.
I'll come back and answer
let's talk about 2.5 software. This was just barely released, so if you missed it, here's the big things that I think were important for you. There's a lot of things in settings. Most of the 2.5 software improvements were for, little great little scenarios, settings, and things for installers. But there were some things that I thought were interesting that you may want to know about. First off, we added several new languages: Italian, Dutch, Norwegian, Swedish, and Icelandic. So if you happen to, if you happen to be running into those kind of communities where you're selling in those kind of communities, now you can sell it and put it in their native language. And remember, on the IQ panel, you've got, if you pull down the settings tray, you've got this little language toggle, okay? And this little globe icon will switch between your primary language and your secondary language. So if you set that secondary language to be one of those other ones, again, in those dual language households, you could easily have people switch back and forth between it. And it could be, let's say you've got one of those houses that they speak both Swedish and Icelandic. Easily switch between your primary and secondary. I wouldn't understand anything they're saying there.
No, I was waiting for a language that I could say like oui or something, but I didn't know anything.
And we also added some new sensor groups to support things like temperature and environmental sensors. So there's a lot of support for that kind of stuff. We did sump pump integration, if that's something you've been asking for and looking for. This one's actually really cool. You can actually delete a failed node on the Z-Wave network from alarm.com. So if you've got a particular node that is causing a problem and your customer calls in, instead of having to send a tech out to try and work on it, not only can you see all the nodes, but if there's one that doesn't work, you could just say, hey, I'll just delete that for you, and you can do it right from alarm.com. So enabling you further to continue retiring that truck and reducing those truck rolls.
Definitely.
So, all your photo frame images on the IQ panel can now be pushed to the IQ remote.
I think this one's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've been asking for this. Again, IQ remote is a great device. It's a great secondary tablet to put anywhere in the house for a secondary or third or fourth access point to the system. And we continue to develop software that makes that more and more powerful. And this is another one. There's been a lot of people say, well, I got the factory photos there, but I want my photos I put on it to push to the remote. And now they do. So really cool. And then another one, just me personally, I love the custom names on the IQ panel.
Me too.
To be able to put your own name of a sensor, or a device in there is awesome. And there have been times when I haven't been able to fit everything in that 24 character limit, but we've expanded that limit to 56. So now if you really want to name something, Kelsey's upstairs bedroom window that's pink, you could fit all that in there.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do you have a pink bedroom window?
No, but it sounds like I need one now.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Why not?
Any questions about 2.5, or should we move on to?
Yeah, so many questions. Okay. Jerry asked, is Qualys compatible with Alarm.com and Control4 separately or at the same time? And
Very good question. Yes, we do have Control4 integration. We're working on some other integrations as well. That is something that we are probably going to be dedicating a whole separate webinar to, a technical webinar to. So be watching for that. That's something that we've had a lot of requests for. And you can absolutely use that Control4 system with the IQ panel altogether. So it's a really nice integration. We've worked very hard. In fact, if you are familiar with Control4 and you do a search on the Control4 driver store, I think it's called, for Qualys, you'll find it there. So that's a great little integration. So, but be watching for the webinar coming up on that. That's one that a lot of people have been asking for.
Can you explain the sump pump integration?
Whitney can.
Yeah.
No.
Paper on it.
I know what a sump pump is, not how it integrates. There's a big difference. And even then, I'm not totally proud to admit that. So,
yeah, like I said, the 2.5 software was a lot of really little edge cases where people were asking for things, and so we were able to get some of these integrations and things into it. I personally have a sump pump, but it's not a connected sump pump. It's like a 20-year-old sump pump, so I don't have mine connected, and I don't know what it would do.
Email tech support. Tech support at qualsys.com.
Also, we're getting a lot of questions about languages. Check out the TSB. They're on the dealer portal under technical support bulletins. So if we've talked about anything and you want to check and see if maybe a language is available, check out those TSBs and things like that.
You mentioned the dealer portal, and we've mentioned it several times here. If they don't have access to the dealer portal, should they, and why, and how do they do it?
You can Venmo me. Just kidding. Send me baked goods.
Okay, so if they don't have access to the dealer portal.
I love the dealer portal. You should all have access to the dealer portal. The best part about it is it's where we are posting our TSBs. We have training, sales, technical device, marketing materials that you can download, flyers, videos, animations, image packs. So you definitely should get access if you don't already.
How do they get access?
They can Venmo me.
Venmo Whitney. It is dealers.qualsys.com/register. But you have to be a registered Qualsys dealer first. So maybe the easiest is go to our website. On the top right-hand corner, it says dealers, and then complete steps 1 and 2.
Yep. And if you've already done that, your company's already registered with us. It's just a matter of registering for that login. Again, dealers.qualsys.com/register. And when you've done that, that sends an email to Kelsey and her team. They review it, make sure everything's good, and then approve that login. And then you'll have access to training. You'll have access to marketing downloads, sales downloads, technical downloads, builder downloads, commercial downloads, support, which includes the FAQ section we talked about, and the TSBs that Whitney just referenced. We've also got a little marketing store in there where you can buy shirts and flyers and things like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of cool stuff in there. Definitely get access to that. Let's talk about takeovers and upgrades. Whitney, you and your team have been slaving away on LTE upgrades. There's been a lot of, how many dealers do we have right now enrolled in the LTE upgrade program?
Over 200.
Over 200 of you have enrolled in the LTE upgrade program, and that makes you eligible for rebates when you take an old rubber button keypad off the wall.
We will give you money.
And put an IQ panel into place. That's right. And in terms of upgrades, we really do make it easy. We're integrating with so many different things. If you've got an old Interlogic system, for example, you grab the yellow box. It already is going to speak to all those Interlogic sensors. So you can take the old panel off the wall, put the new panel up, learn all the sensors, and voila, you're done. In fact, we made a video about this with Jason, didn't we?
Yes, we did. You can find it on our YouTube page or the dealer portal.
And that whole install, Jason we recorded his whole thing, taking it down, pairing all the sensors in. There was 3 door window sensors, a motion sensor, a glass break detector, and a smoke detector. And he did the whole thing in 16 minutes. And that included activating the account.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that your installs will all take 16 minutes. He's definitely, been doing this a long time. But that's a really fast upgrade. And the same can be said for either of these as well. If you've got an old 2 gig system or Honeywell system using 345 megahertz, grab the silver panel. If you've got an old DSC system using 433 megahertz, then use the red panel. And I know a lot of ADT systems out there are using 433. A lot of the competitors that you're looking at were putting in 2 gig systems or Honeywell systems or Interlogic systems. So we've got a little bit of everything. But there's also been a lot of questions about hardwire, because everyone's like, well, that's great for wireless, but I need hardwire as well. And we've got some great hardwire solutions, don't we?
Yes. Yep. We sure do.
This is a Hardwired 16. The Hardwired 16F also has fire compatibility for residential fire. So if you get one of these, this is in what we call the takeover enclosure or the small enclosure.
You want me to grab one too?
And yeah, show them the other one too.
Hold on.
If you haven't seen one of these, I'm pausing.
Is anyone having technical difficulties hearing us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? No, it's this one. Okay, we're good.
Okay, great.
Continue.
That was
All right.
pretty awesome.
Good. All right. So, and if they can't hear us, they might be old and therefore dangerously, vulnerable to the coronavirus.
Oh, no.
No?
Toilet paper?
Is it too early for that? Okay. This is the Hardwired 16 in the small enclosure. You can do up to 16 hardwire zones, and it connects with the 319 panel. So when you have one of these and wire up all your zones, you've got 15 zones for security and 1 zone dedicated to hardwire smokes. And you can do 2-wire smokes on that. We've got a great technical webinar that our technical team did a few weeks ago on this exact thing, and they can tell you all about it. And I think we've got other webinars coming up about takeovers as well.
Yeah.
But you can use one of these. And then there was a lot of requests, not just for this, but for one of these. So this is our hardwire enclosure. It's a big, huge case. Show them how thick it is. Okay. It's screwed in right now. I think you could probably unscrew it.
I think it's full.
Is it full of stuff? This has a Hardwire 16 device already included in it. So if you're going to go in and, whether it's new construction or you're planning on just making everything look nice and clean and pretty, this is a great way to do it. It will hold up to 2 of these Hardwire 16. I think the screw is
Did I get a bad one?
particularly annoying.
It is very secure.
Very
This
secure.
is perfect.
Oh, it's the little rubber
Good
thing.
cover.
That's why. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, there we
Whoa.
It's full of stuff.
go. All right.
So you can
This
see
is a good
it comes with the Hardwire 16 in there. We've actually been mounting it because we were getting ready to do a photo shoot with this. But so we threw some wire in there as well. I don't think the wire comes with it, but A lot of stuff falling in and out. Anyway, you can see it's got space for 2 of them right in there, and then space for batteries that you can mount as well. So I'll give you that back, Kelsey. You can carefully find a home for that so we can kick it around. So, okay. So any questions about hardwire compatibility or hardwire 16?
Maybe.
Okay.
Is the hardwire expander only for 319.5, or does 345 also have one, Eric?
Very good question. The hardwire 16 communicates with the 319 panel. So if you've got hardwire zones, you can connect those to the 319 panel. And if you also have 319 wireless sensors, then it will also work. If you have one of those scenarios where you've got a hardwire system and call 345 sensors, wireless ones, you would have to choose which one do I want to do. Do I want to take over the wireless ones and use the 345 panel, or do I want to take over the hardwire ones and use the 319 panel and then add new wireless ones using 319 or PowerG? And both of them will use PowerG sensors, wireless as well, all 3 of them actually. So if you need to do that.
Too, sorry.
Yeah, please.
We have questions a lot about the remote. You can use the remote on all 3 as well, because you're talking about PowerG.
That's exactly right. And the remote connects how?
Via Wi-Fi or the panel's access point.
Yep. So which is also using Wi-Fi. So via Wi-Fi. So if your Wi-Fi network is strong enough, you know, it's depending on how strong your network is, then obviously you can get that remote almost anywhere. There's a lot of ones out there that are hardwired, which require you to run a wire through the house, which limits your, you know, choices on where you're going to put it, and others that are using a proprietary wireless that can't be repeated, which means that you can't, again, put it anywhere you want. With the IQ remote, we specifically designed it to work off of Wi-Fi, so as long as your Wi-Fi network is good, then you should be fine to install it almost anywhere. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Wi-Fi here later today. Any other questions that we need to pop in, or should we dive in with our next integration and our first big roadmap announcement for 2020?
We're getting a lot of questions about plans for future devices, so hold on 1 second. How many hardwire devices go to the panel?
Good question. So the Hardwire 16 has 15 security zones and 1 hardwire smoke zone. Okay, that hardwire smoke zone can do up to 10 smokes. So you could have as many of those as you wanted to, up to the sensor limit of 128. So you can do 128 total zones on the IQ panel, which divide that by 15, that's how many security zones you want to do. If you wanted to do all smoke detectors, let's say you had a house with 128 smoke detectors, which is completely preposterous. But if you had that, then you could do, that would be 13 different hardwire devices that can then do 10 each. So it's a combination of how you want to balance it, but it's up to 128 total zones on the panel. And each one of those 15 hardwire zones becomes 1 zone. And then the hardwire smoke zone becomes 1 zone as well. And those are all interconnected together.
Right.
So
will there be one? No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Sorry, that was.
I did see some comments about will there be a hardwire takeover device that works with PowerG, so that you could do hardwire and PowerG. And that is something that we are working with the team that develops PowerG to develop, and we're hoping that we'll be able to make a product announcement about that sometime in the future. So keep watching, and we know we've heard you, and we are going to continually develop. So thank you for that. Let's go with our first major announcement here. Drum roll, please. So there's been a lot of requests for a sensor compatibility. And, well, I'll just go ahead and say it, Zigbee. We have now in production, not in production, but in process, and we'll be releasing later this year, the compatibility for Zigbee, security, and lifestyle devices. So if you walk into a house that has an old Zigbee system, and there's a lot of them out there as well, they're using maybe Zigbee security sensors, maybe it's a Zigbee door lock or, Zigbee thermostat, things like that, you will be able to take those over in the future. We're working very closely. We've got it. In fact, I wanted to demo it for you right now. I've got my panel right here. I'm going to put it close to the microphone, and I've got this Zigbee sensor.
Zigbee door sensor open.
There we go. So compatibility with Zigbee. So that's a really exciting one. That's one everyone's been asking for, and we're really happy to be working on that. And I don't have a release date for you, and I can't tell you how it's being implemented, but we are working very hard on it. We've got it working. And now we're just finalizing the details so that we can be able to produce that for you. and get it out so you can start using it. So that's one that's been in demand for sure. We also have, speaking of kind of Zigbee and Z-Wave and things like that, we've got a new Z-Wave device that we want to show you, and that is our new water valve.
Do you want me to zoom in for you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Got it.
So this is a Zigbee water valve that allows you to really enhance the abilities of what you were doing before with your flood sensors. So before you could put in a flood sensor and it would send you an alert if the house detected flood. And then of course, if you detected that flood or the system detected that flood, you'd have to do something about it. Go home and switch it off. Well, this is a water valve, connects to the pipe. You can see right here, it connects to the existing pipe. Okay, just like that. You just tighten these clamps down, and then this little arm comes out and it can turn the crank for you. So instead of having a plumber come in and install something special and require a plumber to do that and cut the pipes and all that kind of stuff, this attaches onto the existing thing. Completely retro, very, very easy to install. And then, of course, because it's Z-Wave and powered, then, of course, you can connect it to the network and create rules like when water detected, turn off the flood, turn off the water valve. Whitney, you were saying that this is not only handy. Kelsey, will you zoom back out?
Yeah.
You were saying that this is not only handy for preventing floods, but also for playing pranks on people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, well, I don't want to give anybody some nasty ideas, but someone's taking too long in the shower. You handle that business.
How many of you have teenagers?
Just going to say that.
My 6-year-old. Are you kidding?
6-year-old?
She takes like 20-minute showers, and I'm like, hey, have you
Ridiculous.
washed your hair? And she's like, no, drawing on the window.
Yep. Yep.
This
So
is it.
you could shut that off right there. Sorry, water's cut off. So this is going to be a great device.
This is Z-Wave, right?
Correct. This is
Okay.
using Z-Wave. So any
Z-Wave
questions about?
only.
Yes, there's not multiple radios.
People are confused that maybe it's Zigbee too.
No. This is only
Oh,
Z-Wave.
got it.
Yep. No, it's a good clarification.
Yeah.
Yes, this has a Z-Wave radio in it and will connect with any of the IQ panels because they all have Z-Wave in them.
Outdoor rated?
No, this is meant to go inside your house where the water shutoff valve is. I don't know of any houses that have their water shutoff valve on the exterior, not the outside one. It's the inside one that's inside your wall. There's usually like a little closet or down in a utility room or in the basement where there's a little handle, and you would just simply put this right on the pipe, tighten it down, and then you pair it in with a panel, and you're done. So it's a very simple install.
Texas have outside shut-off, in case you're wondering. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you, Corbin.
interesting.
Well, I guess Texas doesn't ever get
And
called.
Arizona. They're going to start calling you out.
Yeah, hey, go for it, guys.
Okay.
So I guess that one wouldn't work for you then. But I honestly I don't know if it's outdoor rated. My assumption is no, but it's possible it is.
Yeah,
I'll have
we're
to find that out.
still sorting out some of the details on these, right?
Correct.
So,
Correct. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay,
Good
Zigbee question. Where did it go? Hold on. Eric wants to know, will the Zigbee module work with Lowe's Iris? And Corbin wanted to know, is Zigbee Control 4 or Creston? What other Zigbee are we speaking of?
That's what we're working on. So Zigbee, we believe, and we're still trying to figure this out, is a semi-universal protocol similar to the way Z-Wave is. It's using a radio frequency to communicate. When you pair the sensors with the panel, then they should work. We still have a lot of development work to do to make sure that all the different sensors are out there. And you'll know, if you've been a long-time Qualys customer, you'll know that every time we do a software update, we're announcing new integrations with new devices. We're finding new devices that didn't quite communicate the way that they were supposed to, but that, we're working on our software team's work to make sure that that does happen. So the short answer is we're working on it. And, we've got a lot of Zigbee sensors working. Does that mean all of them? Probably not. There's probably some out there that if a certain Zigbee developer made it a certain way, that it wouldn't integrate the same way. And, that's what we'll have to work on. So it's a work in progress. And that's one of the beautiful things about IQ Panel is the software is so flexible. It does allow you to be able to continually update as we uncover new things, as we, get feedback from you. And like I was sharing just a moment ago, the 2.5 software, that's almost all what 2.5 was new integrations for different devices, ensuring that certain devices that didn't work before do, things like that. So we're vigilant. We're really working hard to make sure that your feedback is taken. And if you have ideas of things you want or things that don't work, please reach out to us. Tech support@qualsys.com. Let us know what the issues are, and we're going to work our best to try and solve those problems for you and make sure you've got a great installation experience. So thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
There's so many questions. We've got a lot of people on today's webinar.
I'm a little tired. Kelsey, you want to take over again?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I'm sorry, I didn't even scroll down yet. Okay. These are not available just yet.
None of the things we're showing today are available yet. They're part of our 2020 roadmap. So the plan is that they will be released sometime this year. Now, if everyone runs out of toilet paper and we're all stuck inside our houses, I don't know how that affects things, but we're watching it very closely, and we're doing our very best to make sure that our roadmap doesn't get slowed down, due to the connections that we have. So
Adam wants to know, does the Zigbee card replace another daughter card that comes built in?
Can't tell you that. Top secret information.
Oh, sorry.
I'd have to have you sign an NDA. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna have you sign an NDA.
Or you can Venmo him.
No. Well, that is all part of what we're working on. I will tell you that in this panel right now, there is a daughter card that has Zigbee, and it's connecting to the Zigbee sensor that's here. As far as how we're going to implement that and what the best business case is for you and for us, that's all part of what we're working on right now. So stay tuned, and we'll listen. And if you've got ideas of what would work best for you, we'd love to hear them. Tell us what you think and what kind of panels you'd be interested in buying, what kind of situation would work best for you. If nothing else, we'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts.
Yeah, so. Some people that are willing to sign that NDA.
I know. I believe it. I believe it. Let's go to the next device, because I'm sure everyone doesn't want to sit and listen to us chat. This is a device that has been asked for a lot. This is a device that is something that a lot of people are suffering and struggling with, trying to find a good solution for it, and we're very, very excited about this. It is new, almost a new category for Qualsys, and I'll just unveil it here. This is the IQ router. When you zoom in for us. The IQ router uses the latest in Easy Mesh networking. This is the Wi-Fi Alliance's latest technology. Easy Mesh. Oh, I can move. Sorry. You're zooming around. No, I'm good. You zoom it in, and I'll get it in the right spot. Okay. So the IQ router, you can see how thin it is. We've got Ethernet port on the back, one for in and one for out, and then power. And it's a little tower. You can see about how tall it is. I'll compare it to my iPhone 11. Okay, that's about how big they are. Okay, so yeah, and a little bit thicker, but it looks great on a table. If you want to put it somewhere, you can put it in the closet, things like that. Go ahead and zoom back out, Kelsey. Okay. This is using what's called Easy Mesh, and it's the Wi-Fi Alliance's latest technology for mesh networking of Wi-Fi networks. So the first one you put in will be the router, and then as you add additional nodes, there's a little sync button on the side here you press to sync them up. And as you add new nodes, whether they're additional ones of these, that then becomes a node on the network, strengthening it, improving it. Or if you've got other brands that you're using that use that Easy Mesh technology, those will also integrate in. Now, the reason you'd want to use one of these is multi. So first off, you could create a dedicated private network for cameras, for example. And a lot of people say, I've got cameras, they're on the existing network, and some of those existing networks are pretty bad.
Yes. Well, just old. You could. He's asking me internet questions. I'm like, I don't know.
Internet?
I don't know.
If you think about it, most customers, let's be honest, most customers have the old, Comcast, Cox, whatever brand of internet, whoever their ISP is. They get the router that comes with the service. Maybe they lease it for $5 a month. It's a modem router combo, and you guys know better than we do how challenging those can be to work with. The speeds aren't great. Sometimes they've got limitations on the number of devices you can add. And if there's ever a problem, you're at the behest of the ISP to try and resolve it. And the customer oftentimes blames you. My camera's not working, therefore it's your fault. When in actuality, it wasn't. It was the bad router. So having an ability to have a dedicated private network is something many of you have been asking for, and this will give you that capability. In addition to that, many of you want to say, I want to be able to manage the network. I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to say, I can help change passwords and help make sure that things are reset. You need to reset a router node? Let me log onto alarm.com and do that for you, and I can make sure that your network's working and optimize that for you. Some of you want to be able to charge for that kind of service. I think personally, and we've talked about this in previous webinars, that your ability to own the home network is going to be a really great service that you can provide to your customers in the future. And having a device like this, like the IQ router, is absolutely going to be key in that. Not only that, but we've got some really great tools on the IQ panel's user interface that will allow you to interact with this. For example, let's say a guest comes over to your house and wants access to the Wi-Fi network. you walk up to the panel. Instead of having to go to your computer and like, type in stuff to manage router settings, you could simply have them get access to the guest network, and they simply go up to the panel. It gives them a guest thing. They scan a QR code, and voila, they're on the network. They're not on your main network, but they're on the special private network that expires after 24 hours. So there's lots of really cool software things we can do and allow you to manage that network, the end user to manage that network from the panel, and allow you to manage that network from the cloud. So it's a really, really powerful solution. Now, I'm guessing we're getting questions about routers. Am I? No questions at all?
Many questions.
Let's have a few of them, please.
Okay, let's start with, hold on, I'm not ready. Is the signal better than the WAP feature on the panel? Asked Nathaniel.
So Nathaniel, you're probably referencing the panel access point. The panel access point is a solution built into the IQ panel, similar to having a hotspot on your phone. And that is essentially the same quality as a hotspot. If have you ever used a hotspot on your phone? It's not great. It's not meant for huge things. It's meant for like, I want my iPad to connect to my phone and it's right here next to it. It's not meant to like power a camera in the other room, that kind of thing. So yes, it absolutely will be much, much better. These are on par with and potentially superior to things like Eero, things like Google Home Wi-Fi, things like that. And I see some questions about price points. The price points will be similar, and we're hoping to make it cheaper. So the whole goal here is to give you a solution that instead of putting in another product that you bought at Best Buy or things like that, that you can put in a product that you manage that will still look great, still perform the same way, and give you those forward functioning capabilities and remote capabilities that you need in order to manage that network appropriately. So great question.
Okay, here's $1 million question because everyone's asking it.
Okay.
Is it 5G, 2.4, or something
You're
else?
asking if it's 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz or both, and the answer is it's both. So great questions.
How many nodes can be added?
I want to say it's 8. Is that right?
I thought so too.
I believe it's 8. So if you think about how many routers someone has in their house now, which is typically 1, or the Eero or Google Mesh, some people like some in 3-packs, we can do up to 8 nodes. So it's pretty strong.
How many, the download speeds?
How many megs can, that's a good question. I don't know the actual throughput on this. Of course, a lot of it is contingent on whether or not your internet service provider is going to do it. But I want to say it's gigabit, but I don't know that for sure. So don't quote me on that, please. But those are all things that we'll work on. Will be part of the packaging, part of the release when we formally release this product.
What about specs and things like that? All will come.
You should wear spectacles when you look at this.
I left mine at my desk.
Yeah, I mean, it really helps you see it. I think I need my spectacles right now.
He needs glasses.
Yeah. I can't share specs. The information we've shared is the most I'm allowed to share with you right now. But that stuff is all in process. We've got a lot of it done, but we want to make sure that all our T's are crossed, all our I's are dotted before we do a final release to you. And again, I can't share official price points or release dates right now, but this is on a part of our 2020 roadmap. So great question.
Would you like an unrelated question, but it's a good one and an easy home run?
Oh, yes. Can I have a drink of water while I wait?
Yes.
Okay.
Sandra wants to know Google Home or Alexa integration. Which one?
I have it in my house right now.
Yes, you can do voice commands and things like that. I don't think that a lot of people know that.
I think it's possible Sandra's asking if this will have voice control built into it. And the answer is no on that. But if you are familiar with Alarm.com's Google or Alexa integrations, or Siri shortcuts for that matter, I use all 3 of them in my home, and it's amazing. The ability to use voice control to say things like, open the garage. When I get home, my phone's sitting on its mount in the car, and I can just say it, and it opens up the garage, and I drive right in. Or turn off Ellie and Lola's lamp as I leave the room, and I'm tucking the kids into bed, and the lamp just turns off as I walk out. So that voice control integration is really, really powerful, and one that you should definitely be looking at. But I would also caution you as well, because you, as a dealer, your business is to manage your customer's relationship. Not just manage your customer's relationship, but correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably want to sell every possible product you can, right? If a customer is interested in a smart light bulb, you want them to buy it from you. If a customer wants a door lock, you want them to buy your door lock. If a customer wants a video doorbell, you want them to buy the one from you, right? That integrates in with the system. It's all part of the single app. It's all part of that. You need to make sure that every time you leave a customer's house, they know all the different things you can do. You know, it doesn't mean they have to buy them today. Just know, hey, when you're ready for that smart light bulb, you're ready for that smart door lock, call me first. Give me an opportunity to get it so it can be all part of your system. It can appear on your panel. It can appear in your mobile app. Everything will work great. The other thing you need to be aware of is these other companies, if they go out, if a customer goes out and buys a Ring video doorbell, for example, I guarantee they're going to get an offer for a Ring security system at some point. So make sure that your customer communication, your customer relationships are strong so that if and when those emails come, they're not tempted to leave you and go somewhere else. And one of the best ways you can do that is by continually interacting with your customer via email, phone calls, service calls, what have you, and helping them understand the amazing breadth of security devices, lifestyle devices, and other things that you can do for them. So
yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Any other questions about?
Does it infect?
Infect?
Does it
No,
affect
we're not infecting anything. We're in quarantine.
encryption?
That's why we're in this white room. Does it affect encryption? Good question. You're talking about the router, I'm assuming. Yeah. Does the router affect the encryption at all? And the answer is no, because the encryption between the cloud and the panel is all through what are called ports. And so those ports that are open up to alarm.com, to the Qualys cloud for the software updates, things like that, are all protected, okay? And then the signals from the sensors, this isn't an encrypted sensor, but your encrypted sensors like PowerG sensors or the S-Line door window sensors, things like that, the encryption between the panel and those are using a completely different frequency from Wi-Fi, and it does not at all affect that communication. So all your encryption is solid and safe. So very good question. Thank you for asking it.
Including if Alexa or Google Home devices are attached to that network. That won't.
Yes, because that Alexa integration, for example, is integrated through the cloud, through alarm.com, and then back down. So that is not a peer-to-peer, as it's called. It's not that Alexa integration is not integrating your Amazon Echoes with the panel. It's integrating it with the Wi-Fi network, which is connected to the alarm.com servers in the cloud.
Last question, so we can get to the very last item, which we're getting lots of questions about. Where did it go? Will the router work without an IQ panel or on any of the 3 flavors?
Yes, the IQ router is designed to be a standalone network solution. So if you wanted to use it on some old crappy rubber button keypad, you certainly can. Did I say that too harshly? I'm sorry.
Careful.
If you wanted to use it on one of those amazing yellow rubber button keypads, maybe. If you wanted to use that on any other network, you certainly can. It creates its own Wi-Fi network, and then, of course, you'll get a lot of great bonuses when you integrate it with the IQ panel, but it's certainly not required. It is its own standalone product. So great question. Thank you for that. Let's move on to our last product.
Yes.
Drum roll, please.
I was going to say that.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
Want me to do it?
Ta-da! This is the IQ Hub. I think it went to sleep.
What did you turn off? We were trying to do it cordless, but
yeah, I'll have to plug it in, let it power back up. The IQ Hub is a beautiful new panel coming out later this year, and I want to show you a couple of things about it. Right now, you'll see when the software boots up, it looks identical to the IQ panel software, but there's some good important things you should know about the IQ Hub. First off, we've got a big speaker on here. Notice the size of the speaker compared, okay? Go ahead and zoom in for me there, Jared. Okay, notice the size of the speaker. Oh, I gotta come back a little bit. You can see him. I'm trying to get it. Okay, see that? That's a big speaker. It's very loud. Very, very loud. You can see the user interface is the same. You can still touch and swipe. The resolution on the screen is actually lower, but because of the size of the 7-inch screen, you actually can't tell that much. I can still, let me just put it in photo frame mode. I'll press play. You can actually see still got great resolution, and the photographs are different. Okay, I want to show you. Jared, zoom back out again. I want to go ahead and disarm that system.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
We're very secure with our code here.
Okay, and then I want you to disarm this system.
All right. Smile.
Oh,
okay.
I don't want to.
So now we're going to go over and make these full screen so you can see the difference in the camera angle. So you can see the IQ Hub. Go ahead and zoom in for me, Jared. You can see the IQ Hub still has the same quality camera, but it's a wider camera. So this is a 120-degree camera, so you actually get more of the scene. If this were mounted on the wall, you'd actually get a good chunk of the room, whereas this one has a more narrow field of view. So we've really tried to improve the camera on this next generation panel. It's a really nice one. Now, this isn't meant, I say next generation, it's another generation, but it's not meant to replace IQ panel. There's a lot of things it doesn't have. It doesn't have SRF cards, so legacy SRF, so or what we call dual SRF. The IQ panel, as you know, has Power G, and it has a legacy frequency like 319, 345, 433. This only has one. So right now our plan is to release this with Power G only. So if you're doing new construction and you're just doing Power G sensors, or a brand new house and you're just doing Power G sensors, this is a great solution. You don't need any legacy compatibility. You're just putting in brand new stuff. It's great. We also really tried hard to make it, and on that same subject, it still has Z-Wave, it still has Wi-Fi and LTE dual path, and it still has Bluetooth, so you still get Bluetooth disarming.
Is the camera the same as the IQ remote?
Yes. Yes, it is. Good question. Yes, it's the exact same camera. So the 5-megapixel, 120-degree angle camera. Who asked that question?
Eric.
Eric? Brilliant question and brilliant observation for knowing that. Eric gets a T-shirt. Make sure you remember that. Okay.
Let me write it down.
Eric, you get a T-shirt for that. That's awesome. I'm impressed that you knew that. So I'm gonna just unscrew. There's a little top screw here that's an anchor. Jared, zoom in for me.
Eric gets a T-shirt.
Eric.
Okay.
Eric Brown.
So you can see there's a little screw here. Okay. And this pops off. I'm gonna take this thing off here. So you can see here, this is a table stand. Okay. But it's not just a table stand, it's also the wall mount. So I can actually take the screws off of this, okay, right here. Little tiny screws. Okay, and when I take those off, now the table stand is now disconnected. Oh, keep it zoomed in. Yeah, table stand is now disconnected, and this becomes a great wall mount. You can see there's lots of little spaces for adjustment in here. And these little bad boys become panel tampers. So you can see the panel tampers built right into the back of it. Another thing you'll notice is there's no green. There's no way to open this. You don't need to open this panel. So when you install it on the wall, okay.
Panel tampered.
See how thin that becomes, okay. When you install that on the wall, there's no need to open the back of the panel. There's no need to, close the panel and things like that. It is definitely meant for more consumer. You can see how thin it is comparatively, okay, to the IQ panel. Also, you'll notice on the back here, look at the bottom here, that's an end user replaceable battery. So I'm going to take this screw out as well, okay, and pop that off. You can see there's an end user replaceable battery. So we've really worked hard to make this a great solution for brand new installs, and the price will be less expensive than the IQ panel, because it does have a few things. It's got a lower resolution screen. It's got, it doesn't have dual SRF, things like that. Also, the microphones in it are not as good as the IQ panel, so it won't have the built-in glass break. So there's a couple things you won't have, but the IQ panel is still meant to be your flagship. It's still smaller. It's still thinner. It's still beautiful. It's still much more powerful. But from a aesthetic standpoint, this is going to look great. You can even see, Jared, zoom in again for me. You can even see the curve here. Look at the curve on that. You can hold it still. I just want to, yep, there we go. It's got a little curve on that, which we think looks pretty good too. So it's a great, great little system. All right, you can come back out. I'm assuming we've got some questions.
Yeah, what's up with your beard?
It's growing. It's growing, and I'm working on it. The other day I shaved it off, and I thought,
literally,
I look better with a beard.
It's pretty amazing though when we can zoom in and really get the full effect.
I don't think that everybody agrees with you, but I appreciate that.
Okay, sorry. IQ Hub questions. All right. What type of battery is used with the IQ Hub?
Great question.
And what is the backup battery like?
Currently it is a 206. If you understand battery stuff, this is 2600 milliamps, I guess, 3.7 volts, 9.62 WH. If you understand battery stuff, it's that kind. as we release the IQ panel or the IQ hub, one of the things we'll be doing is including, hey, if you're going to do a battery replacement, this is what it is. It is going to be UL rated. In fact, I think we've already got that certification done, or if not, it's nearing completion, which means it will be good for 24 hours. And I think that's the reason we chose this particular size battery. So good question. Other questions?
Does it have the same input as the IQ Panel 2?
There's the beard.
There it is.
The beard.
The same input. The same input. No, it does not have the same input. So if you're referring to the hardwire inputs on the back, no. The only input it has is the plug for the power. That's the only thing you could put in there. Everything else is wireless. So good question.
How often will the battery need to be replaced, and is it rechargeable? Those are some particular questions.
Yes, the battery is rechargeable, and you'll have to replace it at least once an hour. I'm kidding.
It took me a minute. I was like, no.
You're like, wait, what?
I'm not really listening to what you're saying.
Oh,
I'm like, wait,
nice.
what?
Yeah, the battery life, I don't have specs on the battery life. That will all come out when we release the actual final product. So great question.
We're getting comments on your beard. Would you like to know
No,
what those are?
I don't need to know the beard comments. I think those who are not interested in the beard don't care about the beard comments.
But the people who do.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, we
so
can take that one offline.
is it compatible with the hardwire?
Ooh, good question. The answer is no, not currently. And that's another reason why I mentioned earlier we're working on a PowerG hardwire takeover device so that you could do hardwire takeovers with this. There have been some talks about releasing one of these with some other radios, like a 319 radio or 345 or things like that. If that's something that would be interesting to you, again, we'd love to have your feedback. Again, this is a near finished product. We're in the process of certifications. It will launch with PowerG only, but we imagine that other SRF, other security radio frequencies will be close to follow afterwards.
Is it LTE?
Absolutely.
Is it a Verizon, AT&T, and TELUS?
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Is it Z-Wave Plus or the new 700 series?
It is Z-Wave Plus, the 500 series, and as 700 series comes out, we may end up swapping that and doing that as that becomes the standard. Good question.
4 partitions?
The software is essentially identical to IQ Panel 2. So anything that the hardware will support, then the software should as well. So yes, you should be able to use this in a business type setting and do up to 4 partitions.
And it will have the same firmware updates as the IQ Panel 2 Plus, so long as relevant?
Unknown. We may end up doing a separate track of separate things specifically designed for that, but that is all in the future, and our goal is to make this as easy and as wonderful as possible for you. So stay tuned on that.
Okay, so now the $1 million question for the hub. What's the price point?
It's $1 or more.
Venmo me.
Venmo Whitney. I don't have a price point for you. We're still working on that. And of course, if you've got special pricing with one of our distributors, we want to make sure that you get that, and you'll get special pricing on this one as well. If they don't have special pricing with one of our distributors, what do they do?
Question. They should reach out to their sales rep.
Correct. So talk to your sales rep, or if you don't know who your sales rep is, you can email marketing@qualsys.com. We'll help you identify that person. The other idea you can try is going to your distributor and saying, hey, I would like special pricing with Qualsys. Can you get me set up on special pricing? And the distributors themselves can also request that through their sales rep or directly through our special pricing team.
Well, sorry.
No, please.
Will it cost the same, more, or less than the IQ Panel 2 Plus? Can we talk about that?
Good question. The plan is for this to be less expensive than the IQ Panel 2 Plus. Correct.
People are getting special pricing. That's
good.
Good. The power supply, is it going to be 7-volt DC?
Same exact power supply that the IQ Panel 2 uses. So if in some crazy scenario where you wanted to take this off and put that one on, or take this off and put that one on, you could use the same exact power supply. It is still the 7-volt transformer that's on there.
Does it have an output place for a wired siren? No.
No, it does not have you'd have to use a wireless siren with this in order to do that. And there's several out there that are, Z-Wave or PowerG's got some great sirens, things like that.
Lots of questions about why the large speaker.
The large speaker is primarily for those markets where you know that you want a little bit more volume. My wife actually, on our IQ panel at the house, she has the volume set to here because she thinks anything louder than that is too loud. Okay? Now, everyone's different, right? So you might think that based on your scenario, and I've heard reports of people that had old 2 gig systems, for example, they're like, well, I used to be able to hear it when I was, all the way upstairs in the shower. And it's like, well, that's great, but doesn't that hurt your ears when you're in the kitchen? To me, I don't think that's a great solution. I think that's a poor solution to have something that loud. But if you need more volume, you can get it. In fact, why don't we do a quick volume test on this? I need to power this back up again.
Okay. While you're doing that,
we'll show you guys the difference in volume.
What kind of secondary panel support does it have? Will the IQ remote work?
IQ remote will still work with it. That's a great question.
And so will the Power G? Yes.
Yep, Power G. All the Power G sensors that are compatible with IQ Panel 2 will also be compatible with the IQ Hub and all the Wi-Fi devices and cameras and things like that. What we don't know yet is whether or not we'll be able to get Live View and Live Answer working on this. We're still working on that. But at launch, all Power G sensors and Z-Wave devices will be compatible with the IQ Hub.
Can you use that speaker as a Bluetooth speaker for music, podcasts, things like that?
No. Would you want to? I mean, I don't know many. I mean, I guess possibly maybe people would. That's a great idea for maybe a future software update. So let's do a quick demonstration. I'm going to put my phone here where we've got this, you guys on speaker. I'm going to put the panel here, put our router over here and our water valve here, and I'll put this panel here. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up here, and I'm just going to do the press to arm function so you can hear the difference in volume. So this is IQ panel. Listen to this.
Select arm system type.
Okay, and this is IQ Hub.
Select arm system type. Oh, significantly louder.
So I don't know if that played well over the phone here, but hopefully you could hear the difference. I'll do that one more time for you.
Select arm system type.
That's IQ panel at full volume.
Select arm system type.
That's IQ Hub at full volume. So hopefully that does a little bit of an illustration for you over here over our webinar today. This has been awesome. How are we doing on time? We're over time already.
5 minutes, yeah.
Want to say thank you for all you people that have been participating today. So many great questions.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, she's exhausted. This is great. If you didn't feel like you got a good answer to your question, stay on the line. We'll keep going. You can maybe retype your question. There's been so many, it's hard to keep up with them all. Retype your question in here. What we'll do is we'll basically turn off the webinar now, but we'll keep this on and still answer questions for you. For those that want support, again, go to marketing@qualsys.com. Send an email to us, and we'll help you with whatever you need. We'll direct you to your right salesperson. You can always call us at 855-4-QUALSYS as well. That goes right to Kelsey's desk.
Yes.
You and Whitney both will pick up the phone and answer whatever questions we can for you guys. We want to support you. If you don't have dealer portal access, go to dealers.qualsys.com/register.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and we'll get you approved right away. And of course, if you don't have special pricing, talk to your distributor or your salesperson, or email marketing@qualsys.com, and we'll start pointing in the right direction to make sure that you get the special pricing you deserve. If there's no other questions here that are relevant to the group, want to thank you again. We're going to do some, you know what? Let's do some random giveaways here. Do you mind?
No, I cannot write them down.
You can't write them down?
No, because I
you
know
write
my
them down.
questions. Here you go.
I think people should, I need a number between you guys out there, give me a number between 1 and 500. This person gets a shirt. 22 is the first one. So look up 22.
Thomas, I'm going to butcher your last name.
Thomas Nakatani.
Nakatani.
Hey, Tom. Glad you're on today. Good to see you, buddy.
Him?
I do.
Oh.
I'm glad you're on today, Tom.
You're welcome.
And by the way, Tom, the show you recommended, I'm still loving it.
What show is
Tom
it?
Nakatani.
Yes. Will you email or in the chat shirt size and address?
Yeah, let us know your shirt size and your address, and we'll get that shirt out to you. Okay. Give us what's the second number on the list?
444.
444. Okay.
Ronnie Rivera.
Ronnie Rivera. Congratulations, Ronnie. So make sure you get us your shirt size and your address. Let's do 3 more.
Okay, 342. Ryan Bell.
Ryan Bell. Congratulations, Ryan. Nice work. Thanks for being on today. 2 more. 250.
John O'Brien.
John O'Brien. Thanks. Welcome. Glad you're on today. While we'll get one more here, and why don't you do 356? While we're getting that last name, another thing you should do if you haven't done it already is join our Facebook group. We've got the official Qualsys installers group, the official Qualsys distribution group, and the official Qualsys sales and marketing group. If you're not a member of those groups right now, you definitely should become a member of those. We're posting great stuff on there that you could use on your own social media, as well as doing some great marketing that make you aware of some of the new cool things that are happening. So get on Facebook, join the groups. If you're saying, well, I'm not really doing Facebook anymore, groups are making a comeback. Groups are awesome. It's a nice little siloed group of people, and we can all interact together and share ideas and things like that. It's really awesome. There's some other non-Qualys official groups like QualysAlarm.com installers and Burglar Alarms Online that are managed by some great customers of ours and really have some great content on them. If you're not a member of those as well, I know Jake Bull would love to have you on Burglar Alarms Online. And the low voltage guys would love to have you on QualysAlarm.com installers. You can join those as well and join the conversation. And one thing I love about those Facebook groups is it's real-time feedback. Let's say you're in a home and doing an install and you're not quite sure about a type of scenario. You can type that into that group, and instantly, not only will you have our team looking at it and giving responses, but you'll have the community who's out there who's done those kind of things before, giving you great advice. Go check them out. You won't regret it. It's going to be a great investment in your time. Last winner?
Gregory Underwood.
Gregory Underwood. Greg, welcome. Congratulations. Waiting breathlessly, I'm sure. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. This has been a really great webinar. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to send out a little survey after the webinar to let you, ask you how we did and get some feedback on it. Of course, stay tuned for official product announcements and releases as we go throughout the year, and watch for the webinar recording at the end of it'll be on the email you send out tomorrow to everyone to say thank you and for participating, and of course share that with other people. And that's it.
Have a good week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.